Okay, we're gonna jump right in live. Most everybody in the world missed all the fun and games that we had pre going to the show. But Joel, do you want to bring us up to speed? You don't have to.
Yeah, in front of the two.
We can leave a mystery. That's fine.
Into about, I think, actual method of brushing my teeth, which I think. But
your mic's jacking up and back and forth on you. We're missing some of your words.
Use your words, Joel.
Yeah, use your words. Says Richard, Richard's just a black box. Like he's not even showing up on the recording. So, all right, try it again, Joel.
Yeah, well, my microphone broke. So,
okay, much better.
Yeah, so I think I've been brushing I just got told I'm not properly disposing of my toothpaste down the sink.
Yeah.
Create a white film around the silver part, the drain.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should. We should call Mrs. Curran and see if this has always been an issue.
I don't think we need to fuel the flames, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
She's probably listening. She'll probably comment on it or something. She had to text me that she's sorry for calling me what'd she call me, a dipshit or something?
It wasn't shithead. I was really hoping it was shithead like your mom called you, but it wasn't. It was something like you just got white shit everywhere or something. I don't know. It was funny. We can't even. Yeah.
What I just when I'm done brushing my teeth, I put my toothbrush away and I go about my afternoon.
Your afternoon. It might be a contributing factor to the. Why don't you clean up the sink? Yeah, when you're brushing your teeth in the afternoon, unless it's that midday toothbrush thing that some people do at work. But
it's the first. It's the first go at it.
Yeah, there you
Working
go.
From home,
It happens. Yeah.
Are you locked down again?
No, not yet. I did notice that there's a couple stores that didn't used to require a mask. They're requiring it again.
Wow.
But, no,
the Megatron virus is for real.
What?
The Megatron virus is for real.
The Megatron.
Yeah. I just watched the opening of Tucker Carlson show. Every time I watch, that's so unhealthy to watch that. But
I agree, dude. I agree. Like
it brings up good points.
Great
with
stuff, but yeah. So
the trajectory that you're on. Are you hearing me all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just we always come on the air between ourselves a little bit before we go live on Facebook or we start recording for the regular podcast. And so we got to see some domestic insight into Mr. Joel and his toothbrushing activities and all that. So we were dying laughing. So we want to share that a bit. And so, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start the regular portion of the podcast now because I want to make sure I'm friends at being they're so good to us and help bring this to the world on a pretty much almost weekly basis, maybe not quite weekly, but mostly weekly. So our good friends at B&K in the beautiful Grand Ronde Valley of LeGrand and Baker City and other parts of the Northwest, but that's the two main hubs that they're operating out of. And again, you have promo code. What's the promo code, Joel? Do you remember?
Reacher?
Malarkey. Thank you, Richard. I knew I could count on you. Promo code Malarkey. Yeah. That's going to get you a discount on things you order from there or go pick up yourself. And if you're selling some scrap to Bo, he's actually going to pay you more per pound if you use promo code Malarkey because you are a fan of the Far Reaches podcast and B&K on the Salvage. So again, we thank them so much for the support. Couldn't do without them. Bo, congratulations again on your recent nuptials. Well done, good sir. And with that, we will roll back into our regularly scheduled programming, but I always like to make sure we mention those kids. Joel, Richard, Raleigh was going to join us. He's having internet connection issues because he does live not at the end of the world, but you can see it from there. So if he gets that figured out, he will be joining as well. Richard's on, looks to be audio only. So if you're watching this video on Facebook, it looks like just Joel and I hanging out. But Richard's there too. So we already got feedback from Mama Kern on Facebook. They don't clean after themselves very well. So apparently she's lumping you and your brothers into the same herd, or I'm not sure what. But I think we've had several requests to have Joel and Mama Kern talk to each other. I think that would be a weekly segment. Yeah. So Joel, he's like, I don't know why I do this. Yeah. So I think
just my mom's daily update on what's going on in Pendleton.
absolutely. Yeah, totally. She's like, this is her way to connect with you and the brothers and us and the world, really. So it's beautiful. Yeah.
AC went to Las Vegas. That's one thing I know.
Oh yeah, all the directors go to the
Yeah.
Vegas. Yeah, for the NFR.
Oh, it's almost NFR time, isn't it?
I think it's freaking December, man. Happy December, everybody. We almost made it. So yeah, that's NFR time. So, Joel, have you ever been to NFR?
I've not. No.
Oh. I'd actually recommend it. It's good for a few
Really?
days. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun.
It's just like it's kind of it's a little too close to Christmas, you know, just because like
Well, you get to go to
in
Cowboy
terms of,
Christmas.
like
Wow.
disposable money and vacation time.
Well, you just plan it like it's part of your yearly trek. We're going to NFR this year, so you kind of adapt and adjust for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's probably different. Like when for me, like when I go home for Christmas, I'm flying cross country to go to Christmas in Pendleton, and then it's a little too early to. But now I can do it. Now,
See, there you go.
my 40th birthday. That'll be
That's a good Vegas trip.
so actually next year.
Oh, cool. Already. Wow.
Well, I'll be 39 next year, but 40th will be coming up, if you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
If my
30
math's right. I don't know.
38 going on 40. Roger that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we had a good we went to Vegas for I think it was Hendrick's 40th birthday. We played some golf, did all sorts of chaos. He got a hole in one when we were playing golf. That was insane. So yeah.
That's a nice
Big Daddy was
trip.
there, Pot Roast was there, Junior. Yeah, it was quite the herd.
You think Carl would come to my 40th birthday?
Invite him. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I'm fucking inviting Carl.
Hell yeah, you gotta have the roast, man. Yeah, that's a staple. He's an international incident no matter where he goes. Foreign or domestic. Yeah. That was fun times there. We cost Brian a lot of money at the golf course too. That was even better.
We'll bring Junior with us, and because he'll pay for everything.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Not always.
I'll
Yeah.
tell him that's what I want for my birthday, right?
For him to pay for everything.
Pay for everything.
Keep the change, you filthy animal. Yeah. No, I made him pay for breakfast one time in Coeur d'Alene, but he didn't know it. So did I tell you that story?
With
Like
Brian.
he tracked on it. Yeah. They came down early and went to breakfast, and then like the rest of us came down. So I put it on his room, and he tracked on it for like it must have been 3 months before I talked to him about it on the phone. Yeah.
Brian did?
No. So we were all supposed to meet for breakfast. So Brian and Junior went down and had lovers breakfast on their own, and we all like would have been like 14 of us or whatever. We come down and they're not anywhere to be found. So we're all eating and having a grand old time. And I'm like, I'll get that. So I get the check and I sign it to Junior's room and everything. And everybody's like, geez, Micah, thanks. I'm like, oh no, thank Junior. He's the most generous individual. And nobody says a word. And like it goes on and on. I'm like, I don't know. Several months later, like he's still battling the charge with Coeur d'Alene because like I did not buy breakfast, you know. And so we're talking on the phone one day, and I'm like, that sounds like something that bastard Big Daddy would do. It's like, well, it wasn't Big Daddy, he was with me. I'm like, I know, a-hole, you skipped out on breakfast with us, so I put it on your room. Oh, you bastard. Yeah. So
How much was that? Tab?
it was several $100s. Yeah. So
For
I don't
Brian?
know. It was a couple years later. We were playing golf. I was home for Roundup, I think, or something. And we're sitting in the clubhouse after, and I pull out like $400, and I'm like, here you go. I just saw my pimp. And he's like, what the hell is this for? I'm like, for breakfast at Coeur d'Alene like 17 years ago. I'm like, I told you I'd pay you back. Yeah. So, but it went months, and he was trying to figure out who had charged it on his room and was battling with Coeur d'Alene over it. So it was pretty funny.
I've heard a couple stories about Brian though.
Oh, Jesus.
I always
That's
think
way
those
fun.
I think those are so funny. Like
Glasses on and off, and then like
looking at the bill, like, jeez.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was breakfast at Caesar's when we took him for his bachelor party. The Fall of Brian, which was like, 17 events all from like October on. Yeah, it was breakfast at Caesar's with me, Kurt, and Big Daddy. And so we had 2 or 3 drinks and a breakfast apiece. So the check comes and Kurt grabs it. Like, oh, no, let me get that. And Brian's like, oh, get that. And he looks at it and he's like, the glasses are on and off. He's like, $138. Jesus Christ. He's just like, don't forget the tip. And so he finally pays, and he's just like, all just like this. And so we're walking across the street to Toby Keith's party pit there at Harrah's. And I'm like, Kurt, watch this. I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but that breakfast didn't do nothing for me. I'm freaking starving. Let's go get something to eat again, boys. And then like an hour and a half, Ryan's like, Jesus Christ, there's no way. Yeah. Like, yeah. That was just one of many times we just tortured that poor guy on that trip. Yeah.
Well, it's not like that with me. I don't know. Because I'm the brother. He picks up tabs all the time.
Cheese and rice. Yeah, there's a that's the same when we play golf. That ball's going to come out slower than Big Daddy's wallet. Yeah, like that's like.
Well, he's got a very successful wife, so he can afford to treat his little.
We lucked out there, yeah, but ask him like the 3 club at the country club, like he didn't like to pay those dollars at all. Like that was like he had to pay me a Sacagawea $2 one day, and that almost killed him. Yeah, so beautiful. Anyways, yeah, enough of that. But we'll go to Richard for the reach around. How does that sound? That's like a nice. That sounds like a sportscaster. Richard, are you still with us there, good sir?
Not much happened. We went to Thanksgiving and my sister's in Winnemucca, so that was nice. Hang out with the family.
Oh, beauty.
Went and ate at the famous Martin Hotel in Winnemucca the night before Thanksgiving.
Ooh, nice.
Yep, that was delicious as always. Real estate's crazy right now. Getting some stuff closed up for the end of the year. It's all sort of hitting at once. Getting calves shipped off, and hay coming in, and things are going pretty well. Feeling a lot better since my bout of sickness.
Good.
And yeah, things are clicking right along.
Outstanding.
So yeah, are you over the long COVID symptoms?
Yeah, I think I'm mostly over it. I got a little bit of headache now, but I took my magnesium and should be getting better pretty soon. So
Nice.
Wayne and I are headed. Oh, and I guess I'm not as big a part as this, but next weekend we're going to a wedding down in Napa. Elena, my wife, is in, and Richard's going to be the ring bearer, so that'll be entertaining.
Is he all practiced up? You guys been training?
Well, I saw he got his little suit today, so I guess we'll have to start getting ready.
Yeah.
So
Going down to California or up to Idaho?
California.
Yeah.
The wine Napa, not the potato Napa.
I wonder how often people getting married in Napa, Idaho are like, yeah, we're getting married in Napa.
Probably
reservations and everything.
Party.
Joel's got reservations at the Super 8 in Idaho. Yeah, like where's everybody at? Jesus.
Yeah.
It's not this Oaks Lodge, it's a different Oaks. Oh crap.
You just said the wine here is great. This is good.
It's $2 chuck. It has like it's in a Boda bag, for God's sake. Sorry.
Oh man, I got a terrible bottle of wine last week. Terrible. So, yep. It was a Pinot Noir, and
like a film noir. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the crappiest Pinot I'd ever had, but she brought it in with her as part of the payment for. Yeah. Sorry.
Anyways, I've never had a bottle of wine quite that bad. It was terrible.
Jeez, that's got to be pretty rough.
Yeah, I used it for cooking and I threw it away.
Damn. I watched Sideways again last week, completely unrelated. I forgot how funny that show was.
Oh man, I haven't seen that for a while.
I hadn't seen it for ages, but God, part of it drives me crazy. It's kind of like Swingers. You just can't stand it, but part of it's entertaining as hell. Like his buddy.
Yeah, I always have to watch Swingers and Office Space when I come across them.
Oh, well, yeah, if I come across it, yeah, for sure.
What's the wine in Sideways where he's like, we're not drinking any of the
Any
fucking
Merlot. No, yeah.
Merlot.
Yeah.
Merlot. Pinot Noir is considered a decent one, right?
Yeah, that's what reminded me because the guy in there really likes Pinot because like it's
Oh.
like him, very fragile and needs care and blah blah blah. Anyways, way too deep on that. But
I like that. I pretty much just drink the Cabernet Sauvignon.
yeah.
Yeah, stuff.
Pinot's sort of what Oregon's known for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was really disappointed because it was from a Willamette winery. So
Oh shit, really?
Surprised. Yeah.
Oh wow. Most of those are pretty good. I've tasted most of those when I lived over there. So
yeah. So
wine tasting is actually pretty fun and pretty fun deal to go do. I'll be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting more into the like the Barolo.
The Bordello?
No,
Oh.
Barolo.
Oh.
I think is what it's
All
called. You should try that. It's a
A
different
complete neophyte when it really comes to wines. So
I think if I was independently wealthy and just had time to blow and screw off and learn new things, I think I would honestly take a shot at being a sommelier.
why not? Yeah.
I watched that Somm documentary, and I just think it's a fascinating like study process. Not even because I like wine, I just think that developing that skill set would be just awesome.
I agree. Just being really good at one thing like that.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Those guys seem impossible. You guys saw that documentary about it, right?
Which one?
I think it was just called Somalia.
I've not. Apparently Richard has.
There's 3.
Well, just like these guys are incredible. They take a sip and they're like, well, this is probably, they narrow it down to the region in the year. And I think even in one case, they, like he knew exactly where it came from and what year. Just
That's crazy.
Sip of it.
Like I think it's impressive when I can tell Pendleton and 1910 apart, you know.
Yeah, if I can tell the difference between New World and Old World wine, like, well, I can't, but I think that's impressive if somebody could just do that. I think that's very remedial, right?
I guess. Yeah, I didn't know the difference between them just definition wise. I'm like, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. I don't know. I've been in several wine clubs, like from Walla Walla. There was a cool app a friend of mine turned me on to called Wine Still Gone or something like that. Like it was just like great stuff would come through and they'd have like 20 cases, 100 cases, 5 cases, whatever. You could just buy it like on your phone and it would ship to your house. And so like I would land on the plane, you know, and turn your phone on and it's like, ooh, that looks fun. I'll buy a case of that and 2 of those. And so, yeah, I had wine running out my ears. It's good.
It's interesting. One of the most successful cryptos is one that invests in wine.
Oh, interesting.
What's that?
I can't remember the name of it. I've seen it a couple times, but basically you buy shares of wine, like pallets full of wine, and then you're betting on it being in 4 or 5 years being more valuable.
I've seen that with art too. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Similar realm, I suppose. Look at Joel, he's busting a move now. I can combine crypto and wine. Take my money now. Yeah.
I'm on a terrible losing streak with my investing.
Hasn't been a good week, has it?
No. Dutch Brothers are killing me.
Oh, did they really tank?
Yeah, they've got up to like $80 a share, like what, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago, maybe? And now they're down to 48.
Oh, ouch. Richard, why don't you have your camera on? We're getting feedback that they want to see the Bradbury. What are you, naked?
Oh no, it's just I can't hear you guys.
Okay. Can't hear us now, or you can't hear me when you turn the video on?
When I turn the video on, I get a real bad lag and I can't hear you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Kind of sounded like a Jen Psaki response. Like,
yeah, I can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, you just answered my question. I did what? I didn't hear you. Yeah. That's your Secretary Rich Circleback Bradbury coming at you with can't hear you. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's probably, I guess it's down there. It's probably a, what do they call it? Bandwidth.
Yeah, the boys out in the yard on a bike actually pedaling to keep the internet running. So
Yeah.
keep them distracted. So
now we got
Yeah.
the Ruku's going, and yeah, so my Zoom doesn't compete very well.
With the Roku?
The Netflix and all those things.
Oh, did you mean Roku?
Roku, yeah.
Oh.
Roku, you do, we do, we all do. What the hell? We're watching TV, damn it. Yeah, it's streaming and stuff.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah.
We have 3 of them in the house.
Premium what?
We have 3 of them in the house.
3 Roku devices?
Mhm.
Yep.
Jeez.
We got the sound bar and 2 Expresses.
I don't know anything about Roku. I thought Roku was just like Apple TV.
It's
I
better.
think it is. Oh, you shut your filthy whore mouth. I mean, I disagree, Richard. Yeah.
No, I had Apple TV and then I got a
disagree.
Roku.
What was that, Richard?
I had an Apple TV at first, and then I got a Roku, and it's a lot better.
Well, that's because you don't like Apple. So you're the one
Well,
dude in the
there's that.
text chain that's freaking screws up all our text messages. That's why. Yeah. So green texter. That's way worse than being not vaccinated. Green texter.
Yeah, it's the ultimate sin.
It is actually. Yeah. So yeah, I got all my movies on there. I got all my TV on there. Like YouTube's the same when I top it and see it. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into it. I can't talk to you. Just that dude. That's fine. That's okay. We still.
What are you gonna do when there's the new Tesla phone? That's gonna be a dilemma.
Just depends on how good the battery is, I suppose. I don't know if I have to give my money to a billionaire evil overlord. It's probably going to be Elon over Tim. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but I do like Apple. Tim Cook.
Oh,
CEO.
Tim.
Yeah.
Trump calls him Tim Apple.
Tim Apple. That's hilarious. Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
I had not heard that. So anyway, so Richard, any more on your reach around? Kind of faded off in the end there. So okay, yeah. Joel, you feeling squirrely? You want to give us a reach around?
What is this, like what happened over the last week?
Yeah, I know this is the first time I've sprung those on you guys, but let's go around the room and talk about what we've done since the last time we were on the air. Yeah, so yeah.
This is new. I didn't write down the format.
Yeah. Well, let's just flow with it here. Let's just see how it goes.
Well, in the last we did Thanksgiving up at my Aunt Celia's. That was good. I avoided politics until the very end. Until the end of the night. And luckily, like everybody had, like most people had left. And then so we were just hanging out drinking. Then we kind of got on the subject. And yeah, I made 2 girls cry.
You asked 2 girls crying? Yeah.
Reduce them to tears through my words, which were entirely reasonable. And that had to do with supporting the Rittenhouse's actions and the verdict. They were
guessing that you were supporting it and they were not.
Correct.
Okay.
They were so passionate about it and so dumbfounded that I think this kid was did the right thing. Even not even that he made a mistake, but I think he did the right thing. Made them cry. So.
Well, at least you saved us to the end. That's good. Yeah, I mean, what's a holiday gathering without a little bit of crying and some politics, really?
Just incredible. I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say about it. I was fuming over that for the next 24 hours.
That's unfortunate. It's too bad too.
I also went to a comedy show. That was great. I saw. I got I got one ticket. Just moved to Florida, so I was on my own for a few days. So
making people cry and going to comedy clubs. That's a Joel weekend right there. Yeah.
So I got a solo ticket to the Stand to see Shane Gillis.
Oh, cool.
He had all new material from his YouTube special, which was pretty recent.
I was going to say that's only 6 months ago, maybe at the most, if not even that.
Yeah, not even that. But so these guys, like after they do their specials, they trash all their material and they start from scratch again, you know?
Usually.
And it was great. Like I've seen these people before after that. Like you can tell they don't have much and they're kind of working on
workshopping it a bit. Yeah.
He had like a fantastic 15 minutes. Like I was crying laughing.
Were you crying in solidarity of the people you cried with at Thanksgiving, or is it a different kind of crying?
Yeah, I was laughing so hard, my eyes, water fell out of my eyes.
Gotcha. What is this strange moisture emitting from my ocular ducts? This is odd. Yes.
It was really good, and there were a few other good comics there too. I don't like Karen Feehan. I don't think I'd ever actually seen her perform. I've seen her at the comedy club a lot, but I've never seen her do a set. She was really funny. I don't remember the other people, but they were mostly all right. That's about it. Those are the big events of my week.
Beauty. Not bad. Pretty eventful. Sounds like.
What about you, Micah? Did you do anything good?
That's always a question, I suppose. Yeah. Had fun Thanksgiving. Had some friends from work were supposed to come over, but they weren't feeling good like the night before, so decided not to show. So I brought in some leftovers, but smoked a couple turkeys. So I got up early Thursday morning and fired up the smoker. So I had fire and early morning and beer at like 6 o'clock or so on Thanksgiving morning. And smoked a couple turkeys. And so one was for I have an HR consultant I work with who's never had smoked turkey, so we had to alleviate that. And as luck would have it, I had a spare turkey because why don't you? So yeah, smoked 2 of those, and that's all vacuum sealed up and ready to go next time she rolls through town. So that was fun. And cooked a assortment of other crap while I was at it. So been doling out leftovers and making like turkey rice soup I made over the weekend. So that's been my lunch, which has been pretty bueno. Just before Thanksgiving, I finally accomplished a long time goal or necessity of buying a gun safe for the hacienda. So
nice.
Yeah. So the Secure Master 9000. There's a great shop about a half hour from where I live that carries a bunch of different brands. And so I spent like 2 hours talking to the head gunsmith who also does all the lock work on the safes, all the pros, cons, this and that's of all those different types. And so then they actually deliver it to the house and like bolt it to the floor for you as well and then leave. It took like maybe 15, 20 minutes. So pretty cool. Yeah. So it's in the corner of the front room. Since I live a bachelor lifestyle, I can have my gun safe in the front room because I think it looks nice. So they bolted it down there and away we went. So yeah, it's been filling it up. I actually found a riot shotgun in one of my closets I forgot about when I was going through the house and like gathering up most of my weapons to put in the safe. Not all of them, of course. I was like, oh damn, I forgot about the shotgun. Cool. That should go in the safe.
I need a bigger safe.
Already, yeah, and it's quite large. I'll just say that. That's what she said. Yeah, it looked big in the store, and then when it got here, I was like, this is a focal piece of my front room now. So, but yes, I already need a second one naturally. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, you know. So there's that.
It'd be really funny if you just put a bunch of like holes around the safe, so it looks like you're accidentally shooting them.
That could be good. Yeah.
Like in the ceiling, just like
Yeah. Whoops daisy. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. That could be good. So yeah, there's that. Took off a little early today and actually went and got my Florida concealed carry permit sent in, I suppose. I had Nebraska that just expired last month. So I had started the process of getting my Florida one, and I didn't have like all my paperwork together. Like I needed like a training certificate. So this is the bureaucracy. So like to get my Nebraska concealed carry, I had to go through like a day training, live fire, blah, 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 gets all signed. Then you go get your permit. So like I have my Nebraska permit. So they're like, where's your proof of training? And I'm like, Nebraska permit. It's not enough. I'm like, well, you have to do training to have Nebraska permit. Yes, we understand, but we need proof of training. Alrighty then. So I spent the weekend digging through storage boxes in my office to find a piece of paper that said I'd been firearms trained. And then I read the bottom of the list and it says, or hunter safety card, which I've had for years and years and years. I'm like, oh, crap. Anyways, got an appointment at the tax collector's office today. Went down, they have a nice office just for concealed carry stuff. They have like 2 computers you can do your paperwork on. They have like the electronic fingerprint machine in there. And if you're a veteran, you can get expedited processing. So I emailed the lady that works there. I emailed her my proof of military activity, the DD-214. She printed it off, put it in my packet. She's like, yeah, it should be a week or 2 since we can expedite. Normally it's 3 or 4 months. But
so just the very fact you were in the military isn't enough.
Yeah.
For having taken, like,
well, yeah.
Does everybody in the military go through like? Does everyone, like even you? Did you? Because you're in the Navy. Did you like have to go through gun training?
Absolutely, yeah. That it's somewhere. That's on my long form of my DD-214 too. Yeah. So I had like 7 proofs of activity that I had firearms training. So yeah.
The United States military wasn't sufficient for them.
Not just to have the DD-214. It has to be specifically listed on there, which it is on the extra long form also. Yeah. So
hunter safety card, which I obtained in 7th grade.
Yeah, and did no live fire whatsoever.
Yeah.
For mine. Like it was a night class at Paisley. We rode up, like me and Randy Lawson, like we're late getting our classes or something. We had to ride with Orville Layton, who was the instructor, to Paisley for like 3 nights in a row to get our hunter safety card. Yeah. And then I had to get a hold of ODF and W like 4 years ago because I needed tags or something, and I was going to go on a hunt in Mississippi, and I needed my hunter safety card to buy a freaking duck stamp. So I ordered it in the mail, and I'd had it since then. I had my old one a long time ago that got destroyed, but this is a brand new plastic one. Anyways, when I finally got to the office today, made my appointment. They called me in early. Bam, 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 bam. Ran through really nice. So that's expedited, and we'll be coming back in a couple of weeks probably. So I'll be legal again soon. So it'll be nice. Yeah. I haven't stopped carrying just because my Nebraska one's expired, but I'll play dumb, I suppose. So yeah. And then I've been doing a tremendous amount of research also on tool storage to clean up my garage with a bit and finally settle on a system for that. So we'll have a separate probably extra or something on tool storage later on. But yeah, so it's been an eventful week, and then work's just been chaos as well. But that's the high points for sure. Damn fine Thanksgiving, smoking some turkeys, drinking some beers, gun safe, concealed carry permit. Yeah, so there's that. It's quite the reach around, if I do say so myself.
I was wondering if what do you got planned for us next there, Mike? I was wondering if Raleigh was going to join. Did you guys see my text message?
Saw it. I had not read it yet. Yeah, Raleigh was supposed to join, but as I said earlier, he's got internet issues. So yeah. What's your topic? Something from the East Oregonian, it appears.
Yeah, so this is Bobby Levy, who is
compensation, yeah.
Elected representative. It's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Bobby, which is unusual, right?
Not really.
Full disclosure, this is like an ant or something. Proposes a $1 million wolf livestock compensation. So they want to get $1 million from the state of Oregon to compensate ranchers who lose livestock to wolves. It's like they currently apparently they already have a program that you can apply for, but apparently they only pay out like 37% of grant requests. So they say it's underfunded. So they awarded $130,000 last year among 12 counties that covered 37% of all requests. In 2019, it was 250,000, 58% of requests. So they want to up that to $1 million. I just thought it was I thought it was kind of a funny headline to open up EO and see that, because I sent that to Brian and I was like, this is what the big boys in DC do. Like, Cunningham's going to get a bit of a cut of that, right?
If they have any depredation, yeah.
I'm just joking. I think.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I was curious to hear Richard and Raleigh's thoughts on it. But specifically, it was so 87 animals were killed. It's in the article. The ODFW confirmed that 87 animals were killed or injured by wolves. That includes 51 cattle, 28 sheep, 6 goats, and 2 guard dogs. But I thought the interesting, I don't know where it said that in the article, but what they said, like, there's also the ranchers believe that when there's predators around, that it stresses out their animals, and then they don't it lowers
reproduce.
yield.
Yeah. Reproduction goes down, performance goes down. Absolutely. They've had instances where cattle have been harassed or tracked by wolves, and then good luck using your dogs to work cows again for a long time, because they equate those two as the same, and they just go ape shit a lot of times when they see a cow dog. Absolutely. Yeah, there is a you have to prove that the death occurred directly from a wolf, which at times can be difficult. B, you don't always find the dead cow off. If you're out on range, as Richard can attest, you don't always get everybody back. So you just either have to try to find the carcass and maybe prove it was, but by then it's way too late. So you have that impact, and then you definitely have the impacts of like they're not breeding as well. If they do get bred, they probably don't carry the calf, and overall gain is going to be shittier because they're running around the whole time and not laying around eating and gaining weight like they're supposed to. So there's a lot of intangible impacts of having wolves in the area with cattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, my response would be no. Deal with your wolves. So, yeah, it's a nice way for people in the city to feel like they're accomplishing 2 things. They're taking care of people in agriculture, and they're saving the wolves. And life just isn't that comfy and cozy. So, they just need to face the reality that when they introduce wolves, they are really screwing with ecological systems and their food chain. So people need to start choosing that they want to eat rather than feel warm and fuzzy.
We have a drop in from Mr. Jesse McLaird of Plush, Oregon, also on Facebook. A lot of folks in Idaho have gone through the herds being changed by wolf activity. Absolutely. Actually, even one of the professors I know from Oregon State, Doug Johnson, used to do remote sensing work and had done a lot of that initial study work on the impacts of a wolf in the area. And he had a wolf was collared and cattle were collared, and you could see the activity. It was like 2 magnets, how that wolf would impact cattle distribution and activity.
Is there any way to measure the yield impact, or
basically it's against historic records? If you might have 2 close by herds that one was known to be predated upon and the other one was not, you could look at some differences. But that's the hard part to really quantify, is you don't know everything. You're not there the whole time. Most folks don't have their cows with collars on them, so they don't know how they're moving around GPS wise. So that's the extremely difficult part to quantify.
inherent problem with people from outside of agriculture trying to make decisions that impact agriculture. You know, it's not all about quantifiable data and bullshit. The whole world cannot be wrapped into what is quantifiable and what is not. A lot of agriculture is sort of reacting to what is around you and elements, and data is it's not a, how would you say it? Is latent the right word? Data is a trailing, it's a trailing thing. And in agriculture, you live very much in the moment. And I don't like to be second guessed on decisions I make in the moment when by data that comes after the fact. And I think that it's bad in agriculture, but I think that the pendulum has swung so far over, and our faith in data and our faith in our ability to handle data is so ridiculously overblown in ecological systems and human relationships and all that kind of stuff. I think it's probably one of the most damaging things that's happened to us as a species, is our blind and unquestionable faith in data.
Oh, I would concur, especially when a natural system's in question, either people or certainly livestock in the environment. But
the problem is probably not the data. It's like the data gatherers who are employed in a role, and they're supposed to gather data. It's sort of like the equity and inclusion market. It's like if your job is dependent upon finding systemic racism, you're always going to be able to find some. If your job is data that allows these environmental groups to continue getting grant funding for shit, they're going to find something in the data that tells them that, right?
Yeah. And I don't mean to step on you, Richard, but it's sort of like stemmed too from the fact that a lot of times in the natural resource world, we were forced to use data to validate processes or prove innocence, if you will, or not being actually in the wrong. And then we became more and more reliant upon it on both sides, because people were using sometimes questionable data to prove one way and probably sometimes questionable data to prove the other. So I think you hit it on the head, Richard. It's like we took a natural system and then trying to make it run on ones and zeros. So either one person can prove a point of view or another person can say they're full of shit. So, you almost get defensive, like, yeah, of course I'm going to have collected data, because if I have good data, then I'm defendable in court, when it really shouldn't be to that level to begin with.
Yep. Basically, every Michael Crichton book ever made was about our hubris in relationship to decisions we made based on data.
Tremendously good point, especially the hubris part. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I've been going through a weird phase where I'm sort of stepping back from technology quite a bit. And yeah, it's
I thought you stepped away permanently with that pause. Yeah, like
no, but what I'm saying is it's just, life is a lot better without all these layers and layers of bullshit that we've applied to ourselves. None of it's absolutely necessary. And I think that there's a go back to that Social Dilemma documentary that came out a couple of years ago. And I think it was a real sort of harbinger of things to come. And I have been noticing that the way that our relationships online have been increasingly, social media's basically been weaponized to create conflict and disinformation, and it's just not a very healthy space. And my feeling now is that it might be better just to not live in that arena anymore. And what I'm finding is there's really no way that they can control you if you don't participate.
Bingo.
And if you continue to stay plugged into it, it's just your brain's atrophying and you're getting your it's like the matrix in reverse. It's just
It's amazing. Like,
yeah, it's super spooky, and I think it's accelerating. I think it's like Moore's law. I think it evolves like exponentially every time that it makes a move, and I just see it like it may be the greatest health crisis we have in human history.
there's zero doubt about that. It's and here's an interesting exercise for somebody. If you don't have the ability to go somewhere where you physically can't get cell phone coverage, or you've not experienced power outage for 5 hours where you have zero internet and your phone doesn't work that well without it, just look at what you do if you don't have it. Look how productive your brain is and how better it feels if you're not involved in that, any of that stuff. Or just turn your phone off for like 4 hours and just go do something else. Like, it is a tremendous recharge, and it really is like a reset for your brain of like how you interact and how you think and what you do with your time, as opposed to being, I'm going to say, like, plugged in literally to everything else.
I think that's all fine and well when you're in a place like Richard where the daily goings on won't have much of an impact on your day-to-day life. As in, like, New York issued a state of emergency already, like, several days ago because of Omicron.
Moronic.
And they already have restrictions in place for like, but some early reports say that this is just, you're just talking about the fucking cold. This is a cold.
At
Like,
best. Yeah.
mild. If that's the case, everyone should be going out there to try to contract this fucking thing. I heard what to say about unplugging for like a long weekend or something, going up to the mountains and getting away from it. But unless you want to just stay disconnected, you need to be aware of what's going on. And I caught some local news recently. And if all you watch, so going back to what people used to do, they just, they watch the 6 o'clock news or the local news, right? But that is like the worst brand of news. All that is just like corporate messaging to the masses. It's terrible. There's no nuance to it. I think it almost seems to me like with like something like Twitter, where people are kind of at each other's throats all day long over new things. I don't know, hopefully in an ideal world that just results in like, okay, we had some problems that nobody really noticed for a long time, and now you're noticing them, and they would be corrected.
I dare say your day would still be okay if you didn't look at Twitter. It'd probably be enhanced, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, but
you'd still be all right.
Nobody's paying attention. They're going to do whatever they want.
No. A, who gives a shit what anybody says on Twitter? But B, like, if everybody just ignored it and did their own thing anyways, who are they yelling at? Like, that's...
No, I'm not talking about just random fucking people like me. I don't really tweet on Twitter or anything, but just regular people and their opinions, yeah, nobody gives a shit. But these are like people that are like the editor of the major newspapers and producers at CNN and MSNBC, like on-air personalities and all sorts of people that really do influence like global economics, politics, international relations. Like, their opinion, you can't minimize the opinion of the New York Times. If they come out and say, if New York Times came out with like a front page, like, you know, masks don't actually work, that would be, we'd be done with masks in a week or two. They would get everybody else talking about it, and people like, well, okay, they don't work. They're very influential people. But then you see the people they put in charge of in these roles, and they're batshit crazy. Like, I don't know. Is Rochelle Walensky, is she on Twitter? I don't even know. She probably is, right? She's the head of the CDC, and
I don't care. I don't know who she is.
She's making policy at this point. Her and Fauci.
But that's problem one. Those two assholes should not be making policy, for one. B, I don't care what they say. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me. Do I seem short-sighted? Yeah, but that's the problem. One or two people should not be making policy for the entire country. That's mistake.
Yeah, as long as they are, you need to know and highlight
how much I disagree with them
and try to defeat it. I don't know. Like, so it's like there's a civil war going on, but it's all online.
Yeah, so if you just turn it off and go away, eventually, if everybody just stopped paying attention to them, they drive and blow away. Seriously. That's where their power is, because people actually look at it or listen to it, whether they agree with it or not. If nobody watches or cares, who are they yelling at? Like, nobody.
No, then they would do their shit in a vacuum.
They are trying to do it in a vacuum anyways.
Get outraged, and then there's poll numbers, and like, it's looking like the Democrats are going to get their shit kicked in a year. And so I think you'll either see them completely back off of this and try to get back to a sense of normalcy, or they'll like double down on it. Like what Tucker Carlson was talking about tonight is like, you got a year before they're going to get beat badly. And the only thing they can do is, Omicron's come around, you better go inside and we'll send you your ballot in the mail. And you can send it back anytime you want. We'll come to your house and pick it up, probably.
Fill it out for you on the way. Yeah.
Fill it out for you on the way home. Like, people need to be paying attention and call that shit out.
I don't need Twitter or anywhere else to tell me how much bullshit's going on with that, though. That's my point.
What do you think about Jack Dorsey leaving Twitter?
Well, the new guy seems nice.
Yeah, he seems like a real a-hole.
Didn't I talk about this on here one time? I think I've always given Jack Dorsey some credit when he's like in front of Congress on those panels. Like he's a weirdo, but Twitter is like the one place they don't censor stuff really on Twitter all that much.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Compared to Facebook?
They all do. Not one to a lesser degree, but like everybody censors the crap out of it.
They do, but I think Twitter has been pretty decent at it.
I mean, there's a lot more porn on Twitter than there is on Facebook.
Like Facebook has their fact checker thing, right? And like, I don't even know that. I don't really ever go on Facebook, so I'm not real sure. But I know for a while there was like, this post contains misinformation according to our fact checkers, and
yeah,
we have to double click it to actually see it. Twitter doesn't have fact checks underneath their messages.
They'll just take it down or not let it go up. Or
I mean, I'm sure they have their problems, but I think it's going to get a lot worse under this guy.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
I think Jack Dorsey, he defends. I like the guy. He defends like free speech, and who knows what he goes through in that role. It's probably deeper than like a basic, is it good or not?
Once you start interfering in any way, that ball's in motion. It's too late.
I think that the big, how would you say it? No, they're not even tech companies. Your Twitters, your Apples, your Googles, Facebook, LinkedIn, for the most part, with Dorsey leaving, have become so homogenized that it only leaves Zuckerberg as an interesting, like, unique individual in that crowd of people. Everything else is just been, it's pretty vanilla now. I mean, I don't particularly like Zuckerberg, but at least he has a personality and a individual viewpoint. But these other ones have homogenized themselves to this sort of woke type of crowd, to the point that there is no more Steve Jobs. I mean, Tim Cook is as vanilla as they come.
Oh yeah, he's the
the
definition.
the Microsoft CEO is more boring than Bill Gates. I never even heard of the guy that took over Twitter. You know, at least you knew who the hell Steve Ballmer was when he took over Microsoft. I mean, he was a personality, but we have completely removed personality from leadership. There's nobody that like, well, with the exception of Elon Musk, but he doesn't have that media influence other than
Yet.
when he chooses to manipulate the media. But he can't control it or anything. The only way he can do it is participate in it. So really, you left this the character. There's no more Larry Ellisons or
Jeff Bezos is gone from Amazon. That's a huge one. Yeah.
There's the interesting people that created the space are gone, and it's just.
But don't you think that's going to cycle back, either a new platform or a new person or a new something? Like that seems to be a back and forth.
I think it's the Silicon Valley is suffering from the tall poppy syndrome.
What is that?
You never heard of that?
No.
Yeah.
It's Holland. It's when a culture actually punishes people that stand above the crowd, and so if you're a tall poppy, you get cut off, so that you're the same level as everybody else. And I think really, like, when I say homogenized, there is no space, or I think it'll eventually swing back around. There'll be some radical revolutionaries, but right now in the current culture, especially the social media space, there is no spot for a Steve Jobs type personality.
Not yet, but I think like we're stupid. We're humans. We're gonna get tired of all this shit in a while, and we're gonna go to something else. Like it'll be a different kind of TikTok, or it'll be I don't know what it's gonna be, but like who remembers MySpace? Like
Rumble is going public.
Yeah, whoever, whatever. Yeah, like who knows what those things are going to be? I don't know. I definitely see what you're saying now, Rich. It's definitely bland as hell because nobody can stand out.
I think the next move, and I think that probably the three of us will not make it, will be the metaverse. I don't think we're wired to do it, but I think younger generations are, and so like having a 3 or 4 year old son, I think all the time, how am I going to combat my son plugging in and spending a majority of his time? How do you teach a child? I think I'm a little bit spooked at where technology's going, and as a parent, I have to ask big questions about, like, how am I going to control my how are we going to structure our son's life so that he can have a genuinely tangible human experience?
The balance and yeah.
Anyways, and I think there's a lot of parents asking that question, but I think the scary thing is there's less and less parents asking that question.
I'm currently working on a Joe Rogan podcast with that social dilemma guy.
Oh yeah, that's a great podcast.
Did you listen to that one?
Yeah.
Tristan Harris and Daniel Schmachtenberger.
Yep.
But yeah, they were talking about some crazy stuff about, well, they've already passed the Turing test, apparently. The Turing test, I think it's called the Turing test, is when a robot can fool a human being.
They can reproduce. I heard on the news today.
Yeah, there's like something like that. But the Yeah, so it's got the coding has gotten to a point where like they're manipulating public opinion
Mhm.
through
I think they're
robots.
turning us into robots at the same time they're making robots better. So naturally, we're going to converge.
I just watched The Matrix in the last week for the first
Oh,
time.
yeah,
what
that's more like a documentary now than ever was before. Dude, yeah. We got to stop cheering each other up. We're all just sitting there like, shit, I'm gonna go watch a John Wayne movie and make something out of wood. I'll be back in a while. Yeah. Gonna carve something out of rock.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how it starts. It's going to come out of the cities because the city kids are I feel like are more under control and probably bigger. They don't have the opportunities that your kids do, Richard, with or your guys is in Raleigh's and my brothers is that these kids are going to be outside playing all the time, whereas in New York they're
Really the middle class kids. I think if you're socially economically disadvantaged, that you're at the bottom of the pyramid and you're not gonna have that access to the technology because there's a certain barrier, there's a certain cost per entry into where the internet's going. So I think there's the people that will willingly or willfully steer their children away from it, and they'll probably be. I'd imagine it'll be the more highly educated. It might not necessarily go along economic strata, but on the lower side of economics, I don't think that they'll have access. And it's basically the story of every dystopian novel. There's a lower education, there's a lower economic class that never has access to the technology that the middle class. And a lot of sci-fi stories, the upper economic or the more educated people don't participate in what that middle section of society is.
Demolition Man, dude, that's the greatest example of that. Well, not the greatest, but that's a really easy one. You have all the normal people that use the seashells to do whatever with. You have the people living underground led by Dennis Leary. And then you have like the very elites who just have dinner parties and walk around slowly and don't participate in any of that shit.
Well, there's that great story, that great movie that Chris Evans did called Snowpiercer.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was fairly cheerful too.
And then the other one
on that television show. They made a television show.
Mm-hmm.
She did something for the show.
Yeah.
And another good example is Gattaca.
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, all cheery shit right here on Far Reaches.
No, but I really sorry, that's what's been on my mind for the last.
Well, that's good. That's what this is all about, dude.
So, but I think I would encourage. I don't know what I noticed that turned me off of everything all of a sudden, but I would encourage other people just to really take stock in what's influencing their day-to-day lives.
Oh, I know for a fact I'm mostly addicted to my phone. I can admit that. I need to spend less time online for sure. Even though I still do a lot of stuff outside or different projects or this, that, or the other. Yeah, it's with me way too much for one thing. And it feels really good. It feels different when it's not there. Like, especially like if the internet goes down at my house or the power's out, like, oh shit, I'm gonna read. Yeah, it's something totally different. It's a totally different part of your brain too. I think it's just like a hog to the trough, basically, for most of that stuff.
Exactly.
So, you got to go, let's look up in free range a bit. That's what I'm thinking. So,
what's that? Oh, the biggest thing I did is I just turned the notifications all off.
Oh, so that helps. Yeah.
The only thing my phone does is tell me when I have a text and rings when and I probably might even turn off my email. There's a guy called Cal Newman that works on deep work. And I was listening to an interview that he did with Lex. I can't think of his last name. No,
the MIT, the computer science guy, MIT, like Lex Friedman. Sorry. Anyways,
It should be Luther. I'm sorry.
anyways, he studies how people work and how their brain engages, and he's coming around to the fact that email might be one of the most corrosive things to our productivity of anything that we do. And I gotta say, I really miss like the phone call. So, and I've seen people that get mad, like they get mad if you call them without texting ahead of time. I was seeing some stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. And I remember in the past, I always sort of enjoyed getting a call before, like when the phone rang at your house and it was somebody that wanted to do something. It was sort of exciting.
Well, for the longest time, we didn't even know who the hell's calling.
Yeah,
I'm just picking up to see as truly a surprise who's on the other end of the line. I have no idea. Yeah.
And it's randomness. And it's that interjecting randomness. And I think maybe we control way too much of our lives.
Dude, that's a tremendous point. I think interjecting randomness, because that, your brain has to adapt and you have to adapt to the situation. Like, you didn't know who was calling. It could be your grandma. It could be your crazy uncle. It could be your buddy. It might, then it was nobody really telemarketing, but not always was it somebody you wanted to talk to. But you just didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I totally agree about the email. I say this all the time, but I want to institute like specific blocks of time for email, and I work on other things when that's not there, i.e. first thing in the morning, email, shut it off, like close it out. Because like I have my email open all day long, and I have Slack open all day long, and it's just a constant thing of this, and you're trying to do whatever task you're trying to drag through at the same time. It's a mess. Like if you just close it out and do the thing you're working on, it's so much better.
Email is central to what you like a corporate job, right? You can't
100%. Yeah, but like,
but in a personal,
but I also have to get shit done.
Do you get personal emails? I hardly ever get
I don't check them at all. I don't check my email, my personal email. Like maybe at lunch break, I'll look at my personal email. But even like on my phone, like most of the time I don't answer my phone during work. I'll have to take a break every once in a while. I'll go for a quick walk around the office or something, and I'll look at my text. But most of the time my phone is turned upside down and just kind of sitting in the window. But it's just the barrage of email and Slack back and forth and trying to work on something in the middle. Somebody comes by the office. But if you just close that down and just focus on the one thing, it's so much better. And, people have been like, I had 2 nasty emails today because I hadn't answered an email from somebody like very first thing this morning. Like their boss emailed me at like 1 o'clock today. Like, hey, when are you going to answer this? And I was like, sweet Lord, I just got it this morning. Like, take it easy. Literally. Like that's probably excessive. Granted, we always try to get to my customer as soon as I can, but like literally I had meetings all morning for one. Like it wasn't like I was just ignoring them, but like that's some of the expectations we're now under with this extra instant feedback and forth. And that kind of got off in the weeds a bit, but so be it.
Yeah. I forgot what we started talking about. Oh, wolves.
Yeah, we did. That was the beginning of the segment. Wolves to email management. That's far reaches, kids. Yeah.
wolves are turning out to be pretty expensive to keep them alive.
Yeah. That was Richard's ultimate point. It's like, hey, you brought him here. Let me just take care of him and you keep your damn money, basically. So, but
maybe they should start like a program where start breeding, Richard.
No.
It's going to pass.
Keep them in a pen. And
they should have been reintroduced back to Portland where they were really originally hanging out. That's the
maybe
problem.
maybe they taste really good if you raise them for the food.
Probably, maybe nice coats, I suppose. But that was always the ironic part because I was working on some of the early stuff with cattlemen when the wolf thing was all going on. Like, you really want wolves back? They should be back in their original ecosystem. Well, absolutely, which would be right here in Portland. No, we can't do that. like exactly. Like, because you cut all the trees down and you rent them off to somewhere else. But this is where they live, kids. This is right up in your kitchen. So
I think
classic example.
I think they should allow, if they're going to let the wolves be here, I think they should allow them to be run with hounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you can terrorize them back and sort of establish some boundaries.
Boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no
Is
good
that-
answer on any of that.
That's not allowed or what?
At this time, no.
Not in Oregon. You can't run anything with hounds unless you have a special permit. But
What is running stuff to pounds? What does that even mean?
Use dogs to chase down wolves and cougars and such. Yeah.
Couldn't a wolf and a cougar kill a hound?
but not a pack of hounds.
Not a pack, and you're usually following pretty close behind too. If they're going to get them cornered or treat somewhere, then you shoot the shit out of them. Yeah.
The wolfhound, the domestic wolfhound, is one of the most probably efficient killing machines that's ever been bred.
It's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
Are they deluxe here? I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, check it out. Look up Irish wolfhound.
Irish wolf.
There's
Mhm.
Russian wolfhounds and Afghani
Right.
wolfhounds, and the Irish wolfhound's just a amazing animal.
Yeah.
You should get one.
Pretty big. Probably not a very good apartment dog.
They're
No,
about the size of a Great Dane.
yeah, but like bulky.
They like to do stuff though.
Yeah.
Super fat. They're almost as fast as the Doberman or Greyhound.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
They're the
I've actually
pinnacle.
seen this picture before. All right.
Other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody thinks the Labradoodle's the pinnacle of dog breeding, but the Irish Wolfhound probably was.
Hey, to be sure.
The Irish are good at breeding dogs. And the Scots.
But you'll fuck one dog.
They call me Joel the fence builder. No, they don't. Yeah.
Or the gold fucker.
This is the times that I wish we could see Richard. Yes. Well, should we take a couple moments and talk about the entertainment spotlight from last week? Did anybody get a chance to dig through the 13-hour trek that is Apocalypse Now Redo?
Yeah, I know I recommended it. I tried 3 times. And I never got any farther than Sheen getting brought into the office, finding out he's being deployed, which is probably like 15 minutes into the movie. It just kept
Yeah,
falling.
totally. You didn't even make it till I love the smell of napalm in the morning?
I don't think no.
No, you'd know if you did. That's Bobby D. Yeah, Robert Duvall. Yeah, it took me 3 times and I made it about an hour 45 or 2 hours in.
Is it a good movie? I don't know. Like, am I just because it's like a 3-hour movie or something, isn't it?
Well, this version had an extra 45 minutes or something in it. But yeah, it's original. Even the original's long ass movie. Yeah. 2 hours and 27 minutes, I think, is the original 1979 version. And the other one was like 3 hours and something. It's like an extra 40 minutes of added footage.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it one of those movies have you seen it before? Do you have to wait like an hour before it starts getting kind of good, like Succession?
It never gets like overly.
It's
crazy.
a slow burn.
It's a slow deal. Yeah. Yeah. It's not like Hamburger Hill or any of those. Like, I don't know. It's got its place. It's certainly, because basically there's a U.S. soldier going to go kill another U.S. soldier because he kind of went on his own. That's the whole point.
Kinda.
Well, he did full on. Yeah. But
I'd say he went full on his own.
yeah. Totally. And brought people with him. And he's in, across the border. So, no, you just have to be in the mood, I guess, and dig through it. Yeah.
So I have to make an apology. I have 2 movies that I are entirely too intense for me to like
Make it.
yeah, like just they're so what would you say visceral that I know that they're masterpieces and I know that they're great movies, but they're
Wait,
just
are they Apocalypse Now and Roadhouse?
nope.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
No, it's the other one I had to watch 7 times to watch the entire movie was The Shining. And I have the same like guttural rejection of I know they're great movies and I'm sure I'd love them, but I just cannot watch them. They just have a weird effect on me. Like I could watch Clockwork Orange all the way through, but I'll never watch it again. And I love 2001 and Full Metal Jacket, but yeah, I won't ever watch Clockwork Orange more than once.
You got to get to Kubrick, man.
But
I'm
I
in the
mean,
same boat though.
That's a sign of an amazing movie
Mhm.
that moves you so much that like and like The Shining is just to me is so disturbing. And Coppola did that with Apocalypse Now. And when I actually did try and watch it and the music came on, I was like, nope, I'm out.
I made myself get to I love the smell of napalm in the morning and that whole scene because I like that. But like when I watch Full Metal Jacket, I don't ever watch it past boot camp. I don't even ever watch it till Private Pile kills himself. If I do watch Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah. You know, the one, and I think it's not only the director, but one of my I would say one of my top 30 movies is Streetcar Named Desire. But it's like Clockwork Orange. I only watched that movie one time because it is so real.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even like on a stage and it's still real. It's insane.
Yeah, it's that term you use, guttural. I totally agree. It definitely is.
Scene with Sheen and Brando when they're in that dark cavernous place. Brando is just so wow. It's unreal. It's like this monster of a human exists somewhere out there in the world. You just hope you never have to confront him eye to eye.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's his whole point. It's a movie everybody needs to be aware of, though, and try to watch.
I watched I haven't seen any of these movies. Maybe I should. You make them sound really interesting, Richard. Like I watched The Shining. I remember watching that and thinking, this isn't scary at all. This is pretty cheesy.
Oh, I think it's incredibly scary.
Really?
I think
what am
for
I
me,
missing?
some of those hit me. I think it hits you at different points in different parts of your life. I think that's for me for sure.
It's the
psychological shot.
Say again, Richard.
Psychologically scary.
Mm-hmm.
And he did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
But then, like, what is the one with Tom Cruise in that? The last one he did.
Jack Reacher?
No. Kubrick.
Oh, Eyes Wide Shut?
Eyes Wide Shut. Whoa.
I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it yet.
Whoa. Yeah, that's psychologically disturbing on another level. And the other one that's like that is Not Less Than Zero. The one with 90210 guy in it.
I don't know.
8 seconds?
No.
That movie just makes me cry.
I'll look it up.
You need to look that up because now I'm like, I don't know what the shit you're talking about. But basically, Joel, just look up the entire catalog of Stanley Kubrick and start watching those, and that'll jack you up enough.
So, for example, if we're talking about The Shining art, do you think it's like creepy or disturbing? Are you putting yourself in her shoes, in the wife's shoes, or what's going on?
Mostly his is how I picture it now. Yeah.
If you snap like that.
Yeah. But a lot of people look at it from her point of view. But yeah. And again, it's been a long time since I saw it. Last time I did, I was like, ooh, I could definitely see how that could happen.
I'm gonna watch that tonight. I'm gonna have a cookie. I'm gonna watch that show.
That'll do her. The shinin on a cookie. Yeah, that'll be
yeah.
Rad Rom. Rad Rom.
Oh, dude, that's murder backwards.
Dude, Rad Rom. Yeah.
Whatever.
Like on The Simpsons. That's funny. The blood usually gets off on the third floor. Yeah. The Simpsons parody of Shining is one of the best ones ever. Just saying.
The what parody?
The Simpsons do a Shining with Homer is the,
Oh, okay.
all work and no play makes Homer something, something. And Marge is like, go crazy? Don't mind if I do. Yeah, it's beautiful.
All right, I'm gonna watch The Shining tonight.
You will have to update us on your response afterwards. Yeah,
Okay.
it'd be cool.
All right.
Because it's the soundtrack. It's this whole. It's
I
the.
appreciate Richard's input on the arts.
Oh, absolutely.
Now I've never even considered watching Streetcar Named Desire. The only thing I know about is
Stella.
Stella
Mm-hmm.
from other popular media.
Mm-hmm.
But now I mentioned that it's actually pretty good. I kind of want to watch it.
You have to go back to the source on some of those. I think is worthwhile.
Yeah.
Streetcar. Yeah.
Brando's insane.
Hmm.
And like some actors just have these great roles, but they're not really well-known movies, but like Paul Newman and Nobody's Fool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie.
That movie's Rules of Attraction. Same guy that wrote American Psycho. And it has James Vanderbeek in it. It's completely disturbing.
Oh
Cool.
no, James Rules of Attraction.
Oh. No, I need to watch
It's
that
a Paul Newman movie.
The other one that you should watch, Joel, that's just an amazing, like, timeless movie that you probably would ever think about is Casablanca.
Oh yeah. I even watched the Maltese Falcon a while ago. That was pretty good.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
There's a restaurant in San Francisco that has the original Maltese Falcon in it.
Oh,
And
cool.
you can eat by it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen
Chinatown's
amazing, of course, but I'm thinking of the Orson Welles Rosebud.
Oh, yeah, Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane. Absolutely.
Yep.
It's mandatory. It's the reason it's still on top of a lot of all-time movie lists.
You guys are naming awesome movies right now. And then we usually get things like, how about Iron Eagle?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going classics on you. Like, yeah.
Well,
so
there's classics and then there's classics.
true. Yeah. Ghostbusters is a classic. So was Top Gun. So was Back to the Future. But so was Maltese Falcon or Treasure of the Sierra Madre. That's a great movie.
You want to know something I heard that was disturbing yesterday, maybe?
Sure. I'm all up for that.
Michael J. Fox turned 60. He's 60 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of his underrated ones was
Doc Hollywood?
That was good. That was good. Secret to My Success is one of my favorite ones of his.
You know, is Richard thinking? What he said?
I don't know. Maybe. Richard, are you thinking?
oh my WhatsApp just decided to download something.
Oh, okay. Because you said like one of his greatest ones was, so we were just kind of waiting, and then it never showed up.
The soundtrack. Boom.
Can't hear you. What's that?
Continue on. I'll look it up.
Oh, okay. I like Secret to My Success with Michael J. Fox was a pretty funny, probably early.
That's the one.
Oh,
That's the
okay. Well, there you go. Have you seen that, Joel? That reminds me of you, huh?
No.
Oh, he goes to work for it's 87. Yeah. He goes to work for his rich uncle, owns a company, starts in the mailroom, and then like creates a whole another persona and takes over like an empty office. It's pretty cool.
Does that remind you of me?
Yeah, it's something like you would do.
The Michael J. Fox movie where he's not listed on the You know that one where he's not listed in the cast, but he's one of the main characters.
No, I don't.
Frighteners.
Oh yeah, totally. Game of Bear. Yeah, that's a great movie.
That's a decent movie, but he had
It
his
is.
name yanked off of it before it went out, so it's never been.
Yeah,
And it turned out to be a good movie.
because it's got Gunny. That's one of the best ghosts in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a tremendous entertainment spotlight as well. Let's talk about old movies, like old movies. I like it. Yeah, Frighteners. I hadn't thought about that one, Richard. Well done, sir. Well done.
Who's gonna win the NFR this year?
I have no idea who's even in it. I've not kept up at all.
That Wright kid's gonna win the world buckle, right?
Yeah, he won it last year.
Did he? He won
Yeah.
the bull riding and the bareback at Pendleton Roundup this year. Both of
Oh
them.
yeah, yeah, that was good.
I'm rooting for him.
How could you not? Yeah, good idea.
I think I'd rather, I don't know, Sage Kimsey. I think I'd maybe rather root for him than the bull riding, but I don't know. And then that Jesse Brown, is that his name? From Baker City.
I can't think of the name.
He's number 2 in the world in steer wrestling.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Rooting for him. Anyway, that was a little off topic. I was looking at something on the tweets.
Well, nothing's off topic because it's whatever we want to talk about. I mean, we have like rough guides, for like, yeah. So
It's my show. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I
my
want.
God, right? Yeah, exactly. That's the attitude I'd like to hear, Mister. Yeah.
What's pissed me off lately? I don't know.
Oh, plenty of stuff's pissed me off. Yeah. Yeah. The fact that our SUV just ran random through a parade in Wisconsin. I think there was nobody driving. Thank God. It's just an SUV. So we got that going for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When those things happen, it's so goddamn obvious what they're doing with, like, this doesn't fit the narrative at all. Let's just not talk about that.
Yeah.
But then this kid in Michigan, interesting. I haven't read much about it. I don't really know. This white kid up in Michigan killed 4 or 5 students in his high school yesterday.
Oh shit. I hadn't heard.
But I'm wondering if we're not hearing about that because it's a little too soon for CNN to be posting the headlines about this sort of thing when they have the Waukesha thing on the back burner, I wonder if they're like, well, the timing just doesn't work for this one to really push the narrative. Because there's not much talk about it.
It was on the news today when I was getting my car serviced in Klamath.
Yeah, but they're talking about it reasonably. That's what's interesting. Yeah. There's not hyperbolic outrage and calls for disarming America and
they want
supremacy and all that stuff.
They want everybody to be focused on the new variant.
Yeah.
No, not gonna happen. Don't care. Could not care
Well,
less.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I know. Yeah, exactly.
The conspiracy is to distract from the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. But
yeah, Ghislaine or whatever the hell her name is. Yeah, that's not being televised like the Kyle Rittenhouse one was. So, or covered at all, basically.
I don't know what the conspiracy means, but then like the judge in that evidently is James Comey's daughter.
No, I think it's the prosecutor. I think, yeah, prosecutor is, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what her relationship is like with James Comey, but like that's a pretty That's a friendly.
It doesn't seem to pass the sniff test, so no matter what, like, you would just think like, from just a appearance standpoint, this is probably not the smartest thing to do. So yeah.
ethics at Princeton. Come on.
What's that?
Her dad teaches ethics at Princeton. She's probably top notch.
Of course.
Cummings teaching ethics at Princeton.
Yep.
Yeah. That'll tell you all you need to know right there. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to send my friend Priya a note.
Let me see where. I'm not sure it's Princeton. I can't remember, but I know he taught ethics somewhere.
The business of ethics.
Yeah.
Well, the ethics of business are.
They do not coexist. Next semester. No. So
Yeah, that's from Billy Madison.
Yeah. I was
Business
thinking about the business of businesses. I'm thinking about Thornton Mellon, Back to School, one of my favorite all-time movies.
Yeah,
Rodney
yeah.
Dangerfield when he goes back to college.
I've seen that several times. You didn't stop me on that one.
Till whoever wrote this thing about Kurt Vonnegut doesn't know the first thing about Kurt Vonnegut. It was like actually Kurt Vonnegut that wrote the thing.
That's a funny joke. But
That was awesome. Yeah.
what does Barack Obama know about his life? Why is he writing? Oh, it's written by Barack Obama. Okay.
He didn't write it. Like, don't give me that shit. That's a bad example, Joel.
No, that's not a bad example. He definitely wrote that book. You know,
Does it say I like 8 million times? Is that how you know he wrote it?
I didn't read it.
There's no
But
effing way he wrote that book.
Yeah, he did. He wrote it. He wrote his book, and Clinton wrote his book. I'm guessing Trump did not write his book.
It's hilarious. I don't think anybody writes their book, dude. Seriously.
So Trump had a ghostwriter.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably, yeah. Why wouldn't you?
I bet both Bushes probably had ghost. Well, I don't know about the older Bush, but the young Bush had a ghost. Had to have had a ghostwriter. But no, yeah. What? Obama writes his stuff. The guy's smart.
We're gonna definitely agree to disagree on that. There's no. I'm sure he had some quips and some anecdotes, but guarantee you there was some a-hole that wrote that and not him.
I might say that Obama's probably a pretty good writer, but I can guarantee you that Michelle Obama did not write her book because who's the Indian guy from NYU? Ducesh.
No, D'Souza? Yeah.
Ducesh D'Souza, who I know writes all his own books. He found Michelle Obama's master's thesis or PhD thesis and published whole excerpts of it in one of his books, and it is incomprehensible. So I'm pretty sure that she did not write her book that was the bestseller.
What is his deal? Is that guy a quack?
No, he's probably one of the most brilliant guys around.
Yeah, I think he's pretty sharp.
Isn't he the guy that he had that? Is he the one that made the documentary quote about Barack Obama and then accused him of like being a closeted homosexual? And is that him?
No,
okay.
I don't think so.
Different Indian guy.
He worked for Ronald Reagan and he was an speechwriter or an economic advisor. Anyways, he interesting guy. Anyways, I read quite a. He did get a little bit kooky, but his early writings are pretty good.
Yeah, he did a 2016 Obama's America documentary where he accused. It's pretty wacky.
Is that based on the fact that you think Michelle is a man? Is that where he was coming from?
I don't remember him doing that specifically, but he had this guy on that claimed that Obama rolled up in a limo and he got in and he blew Obama. I just don't believe that about him. Especially because if Obama was getting secret blowjobs, he would get one from a better looking guy than the one that's claiming to have done it.
Isn't that ironic? I'm going to go down that road. Yeah.
There's just a lot.
I'm saying
think-
Obama could pull better tail than that guy.
The fact that his transcripts have never been released, and like there's virtually
his
no
college transcripts.
there's
He
no-
was good.
yeah, none of his transcripts have ever been released.
Why do you want to see that?
They
Because
can't
he's
even
the
prove
smartest
it.
man in the world, right? So wouldn't you want to see what he scored in theory or economics or
There-
calculus or?
I bet he
There's
was like
no-
a 3.0 student, maybe. He probably wasn't a great student. He's probably all right.
Where are you going with that, Richard?
Anyway, there's just big gaps in his personal history that are odd. Like everybody knows when George Bush was a landman and doing coke in Midland, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't have any idea what the hell Obama was doing in the early 90s in Chicago, other than hanging out with Saul Alinsky.
Mm-hmm.
There's Obama has a lot of shady stuff in his past, and I'm not saying any conspiracy theories. There's just a lot of his personal history that's conveniently omitted.
Precisely. Just saying. Yeah.
I mean, we know everything about every president, and we probably, of all the presidents we know stuff about, we probably know the least about Barack Obama.
Well, I mean, the guy was, we know about him fairly detailed through law school, right? And then he worked as a, I don't know, he wasn't a professor. What was he? He was just
Community
like-
organizer.
Well,
Yeah.
he taught at the university level. He's not a professor.
He's an instructor.
Adjunct professor.
But then he
Instructor.
like, how old was he when he was elected president or elected senator? Let's start there. I mean, there's not a big gap there. It's just a few years of him working, and then he was a senator suddenly.
Yeah, he was born in 61 and was a senator from 2005 until 2008. Yeah.
So he got elected Senate in what year? 65, 75, 85.
Graduated Columbia. This is from Wikipedia. Columbia in 83, community organizer in Chicago, 88, enrolled in Harvard Law. Graduated civil rights attorney and academic teaching constitutional law at University of Chicago from 92 to 04. Turning to politics, he represented 13th district from 97 to 04 and then ran for U.S. Senate. And then basically he was Senate from 05 to 08. And then
That
we were
doesn't
blessed
sound
with
like a
him.
lot of gap. Where's the gap in what he was doing?
The entire time he was representing the district.
mhm.
Just because he wasn't in the national spotlight? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not.
I don't buy
I'm not. I just. Yeah, just not.
I'm just not a fan of him in any way, shape, or form. That's what it boils down to. I don't mind saying it at all.
I don't
I
think
do
he's-
admire the fact the guy could talk for 30 minutes and not say a thing. That was impressive. But I don't care for his politics. I don't care for him as a person, any way, shape, or form. Never impressed by anything he did. And other than that, I don't really care about him. So, or his mannish wife. So,
To me,
think
it's
he
so
was-
charismatic. I don't
not at all.
I-
Never
I
inspired
think
me.
he was. Yeah, I think he was incredibly divisive, and the reason that we're having such a social crisis right now is predominantly the ball that he started rolling on purpose.
100%.
Wow, no, I don't. Dude, come on. I don't know.
I think he's an incredibly divisive person.
Yeah.
I thought he would come compared to now, not even close. I remember many occasions where
Day one, we're going to usher in a new realm of equality, whatever he was talking about. It couldn't have been further from what he actually did. For one, just go back
he
and
always
look at what he said
maintained
and what he did.
he always has maintained as a president that, and I've heard, and I listen to him on just about everything that he appears on because I like him, but not that I would agree with everything he's done, but I just think he means well, and he
That's the first
constantly,
place I disagree with you.
he constantly is saying, well, this isn't going to help, but he's always saying, and he sounds earnest when he says it, and that is that as president, he doesn't represent one side or the other. He represents everybody, and I believed him when he said it. And you know what? And Joe Biden said the same fucking thing. And like, you're a liar. No, you don't. You don't. But I believe
Obama
Joe
is
Biden
the
did.
most scripted, workshopped politician in the history of our entire world.
He's the
dude.
only president in our life that could speak without a teleprompter and do all right.
No, George
He's
Bush
not
could do it.
scripted.
George Bush was
could do it.
tremendous.
Yeah.
Dude,
What?
I saw him speak live several times. Absolutely amazing. Like
Yeah.
not on the teleprompter, just talking, like giving a speech.
Yeah.
All
Shocked
right, I'll give you that.
Jesus out of me.
I'll even say that about Trump.
Super shocked me.
Trump
Bill
just
Clinton could speak on the off the cuff too.
Absolutely.
Actually, Bill,
Yeah. Okay,
No,
I'm actually wrong. I take that all back.
Obama's intelligent enough to memorize everything he's told to say, but we're just gonna definitely just coming from way two different points of view on him as a person and what he did as a politician could not be more apart.
I think if you look at Obama's presidency through the lens of Saul Alinsky and Rules for Revolutionaries, then you have a completely different perspective on the man. So I think if you don't have that context, then you see Obama as a different thing. But
yeah, I don't know what you just said. I don't.
if you've read the book Rules for Revolutionaries,
Radicals,
Radicals. Then you're going to have a different perspective because Saul Alinsky was the mentor to Hillary Clinton and to Barack Obama.
I don't know anything about that.
Dude, as a
Probably
card carrying, like, dude, read it tonight.
Yeah, it's probably the most important political book you'll read.
Text it to me.
I will. You will shite your panties when you see current trajectory of things and what that book talks about. Seriously. Yeah.
But there's an audio version.
I'm sure there is. Yeah. Sure there is.
That's the only way I could have made it through it.
Somebody tell me a story instead of reading it.
It would definitely tell you a story. Yeah.
It's quite the story. Then once you read that, then you should read Dinesh D'Souza. It'll give you a whole new context.
I think that guy's a fucking quack, I think.
Nah, he's an
I watched that documentary about Obama. Like this.
Dude, that's what got us to this point right now about the conversation we're having about your perception of Obama versus what mine is and probably what Richard's is, based on the conversation we're having about this book. So that's why I said, listen to this book, then listen to Dinesh, like some of what he says, but just listen to the book and then go from there. I think that will be interesting enough. Yeah.
All right.
Are you on Audible or are you on Amazon? I'll send it to you on Audible.
Amazon.
Dick.
I don't have Audible.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't even know that was a thing you could get.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
Amazon owns Audible.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Anyways, that was a good discussion. Yeah. I'm really interested to see what you have to say about that. Just saying it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Guys, shake me out of my love for Obama.
It'll give you a new filter on the world.
That's a good way to put it, Richard. Yeah.
Yeah, it is if I need more filters. So
It's gonna make you
Well, probably take some filters off. That's how I would put it. That's yeah.
It's gonna make you a pessimistic, cranky bastard.
It'll make you more yeah. So
it'll ruin my cheery
yeah, your usual cheery self. Yeah, we can't have none of that. Yeah. So
disposition.
should we pick one of the 19 movies we discussed to watch for next time?
Oh no, let's do something we haven't talked about yet.
Okay, what are you thinking?
Oh,
I'm open to suggestions, really. Let's see.
I just watched a good one, and I thought this will be perfect for Far Reaches. Oh, you know what
Didn't
I
write
want
it
to
down.
watch?
No.
I want to challenge you to watch this. The bigger they fall, the harder they fall. On Netflix.
Is that the Black Western?
Yes,
Okay.
it is good.
The Harder They Fall. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it is. It's a good one. And like, there was a Mario Van Peebles black western in the '90s that was really pretty good. And like, it's not preachy. I mean, towards the end, it sort of does. It talks about like this utopia type of thing, but I would call it stylized, and it's just sort of a. I
Oh.
really like the style of the director. That's one I'd suggest. I
All
really,
right. So be it. James Samuel is the director.
yeah, it's a pretty
Or
stylized
Jameis.
movie. Yeah,
Cool.
he sort of takes a lot of cues. He has a sort of Tarantino like style. It's a
Beauty.
lot like what do they call it? Like Shafts.
Blaxploitation.
Yeah, it's definitely along that genre, but Western. But yeah, it's just a really sort of. And
I'm excited.
I don't want people to be scared of it, thinking it's woke, but it's just a really interesting stylized movie, and I don't think it's overly preachy about race and stuff, but it's yeah, and it sort of steals a little bit from Django Unchained and
Okay.
sort of Shaft. Yeah, so it's an interesting thing, and the actors in it are really good, especially the one that plays the protagonist, and then as what's his name? I can never say it. Elsba, the Elba. He was in
Oh.
Star Trek Beyond.
Looking for the dude on the list here.
I've heard of a guy named Elba.
I got Jonathan Majors, Zazie Beetz, R.C. Kyler, Eddie.
Idris Elba is the.
Yep.
That's
That's
the
the
one.
one.
All the gals like him.
It's not on
Yeah.
the top cast. That's interesting. Cool.
Anyway.
I'm looking forward to it.
And it sort of has a Shakespearean twist towards the end.
Don't give it all away, Dig.
Okay.
Yeah, looks like they're redoing West Side Story as well. I see that now on IMDb. In theaters December 10th. West Side Story. Must be the new version, apparently.
I think that's is it Spielberg?
I don't know.
I think it's a Spielberg movie. West Side Story.
Bastard. Quit dicking around with movies, Spielberg. Just saying.
Been hearing good things about it.
Cool. Well, outstanding. Beautiful. Well, we'll again thank our good friends at B&K Auto for sponsoring this wonderful extravaganza, and make sure you use promo code Malarkey. And then we'll finish up with let's do best thing of the week, and then hang this one up for the week so everybody can get on their life. What do you think?
I think we need to rebrand this.
We could.
Sounds good.
Because I always cover
You do part of this in your reach around. Yeah.
during the reach around. Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to just like call it final thoughts. How's that sound?
Oh yeah, it's good.
Okay. There we go.
What are you thinking?
I have moments. Yeah. Final thoughts. New segment. Wrap up the week with. Go ahead. Take it away, Mr. Joel.
Maybe I'll start with like measuring the status of where I think the world is in America.
Okay, you're gonna give us like a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 100 or stars. You can work on it. Let's workshop this a bit. Yeah.
Scale of 1,776.
1776. Don't you mean 1694? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That could be interesting. We could all give our perceived rating of the world based on 1776.
Just it makes the math hard for percentages, you know.
No, we could be like, what do you think it is? What I think it is? What Richard thinks it is? Like, what's our snapshot of the world according to our thoughts? Or it could just be your thing. I'm down with that too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say I put us around like 1,000 in 1776.
Which is good and which is bad.
I think,
It's like
I think the new
one bad.
I found that this week well, not even this week, the last few days with Omicron, and watching all of this unfold in front of you, and seeing like, you guys already tried this, didn't work, and we've already said this didn't work, and they've already doubled down and it didn't work, and now they're doing it again. And you just watch it unfold, and the people that are like there's like holdouts out there like, well, if everybody participate, like, yeah, I agree, if you could get everybody to participate, this would be done, we could get rid of it.
No, you wouldn't.
But that's just not going to happen. Like, it's just not. It's impossible. It's just frustrating to watch. And Australia, was it Australia, or maybe, I think if you fly in there, you have to like quarantine in one of their camps, and like 3 people escaped today.
Yep.
And they went batshit crazy trying to track these people down, including stopping like checkpoints on the freeways to check cars to see if they had these 3 people. And I think they caught them, and I believe they tested them, and they were all negative for COVID. Yeah. So even if they were positive, go fuck yourself.
1,000%, dude.
But they're negative, and
I just can't point out enough. Like, look at Florida, dude. Yeah, it's a warmer climate, but like per capita, no lower instance of COVID than here, because.
But they are doing unthinkable things.
Precisely.
To fruitlessly combat coronavirus, and it is disturbing. That's all.
As well, it should be shaking people to their core of what they're doing in other places. What they're doing here is bad enough. What they're doing in other countries is like shocking. It would be like one of the atrocities of history. We look back in 10 to 20 years and be like, I hope to shit we look back in 20 years and be like, we've gone crazy as a world, man. Absolutely ape shit crazy with things we did. I hope that's what we say. Not like, wow, can you believe it took us that long to get under control?
No,
like,
we know that's what they're gonna say, but
you still have to live through it now.
Right now, you're like, this is what you're gonna say. Let's stop doing this, but it's gonna happen. They're gonna do it.
We're sort of in the Neville Chamberlain stage of denial right now. Yeah, the guy from Germany, we're going to make peace with him, and he's not going to go batshit crazy and try and take over the world because, we're just going to give him this little bit.
Yeah.
We're at Neville Chamberlain's stage of denial. That's what I think.
That's why we're erasing history at every chance, because we don't need anybody to look back and be like, it's never worked. What are you trying to do? Like, honestly, that's why they don't teach history anymore. That's why they don't teach the Constitution. That's why they don't teach about rights. It's like, they don't want anybody to stand up and say like, this is a bunch of crap. Like, this has never worked in history before. It's not going to work now because it goes against human nature.
I think they're at the point where like and it is political obviously, but like the left looks at the right and says, you guys are conspiracy theorists, but this is so clear like what is going on and how this is wrong, what they're doing to people. It's like gaslighting in its highest definition.
How many of these things that people were talking about 2 years ago, it seemed crazy then, have all come true and been proven right so far? Like a vast majority, not all of them. Oh, by the way, real quick, Jesse Laird, so honored you're watching and loving the podcast, dude. We'll have to have you on sometime, but thanks for your feedback tonight and glad you're here. So yeah, like most of the things people thought were crazy a couple years ago seem pretty legitimate now. Like, we kind of told you, you know.
Yeah, how easily they pull the trigger on these outlandish restrictions that in the first place. Like, did you ever read that thread that I sent you about how somebody wrote a book about it, and it was he just summarized an entire book on like a string of like 200 tweets.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
And
yeah.
It was really about how China and cohorts with the World Health Organization, they sort of through propaganda and fear messaging they kind of tricked the entire world into following their lead, which they they probably didn't even do it, the lockdowns, or maybe they do and they don't care, and it just spread, and they're just doubling down on it.
Well, yeah, go back
It's
to
not
day
gonna
one
work.
where it seems like the time when the economy, I think, for my opinion, the U.S. economy was one of the strongest it's ever been. The presence in the world was as strong as it's been in a while, and we were putting boots to China and a lot of things we should have done a long time ago. And next thing you know, something comes from there and kicks everybody in the ass, and we shut the entire fucking world down.
I gotta tell you a cool stat that I got off of that Rogan episode you're talking about.
Oh, cool.
So 80% of Christian groups on Facebook are actually run by Chinese or Russian troll farms. So that means there's only 20% of Christian groups that are legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole bunch of lopsided. It's amazing. I had no idea until I listened to that podcast how much influence on Facebook Russian and Chinese troll farms have. So basically, you can look at your feed and see the news that's coming into it, and you can almost be sure that the majority of it was generated not in the United States. It was generated offshore. And that's what a cesspool dumpster fire that Facebook is. And they're not doing anything they're making money, so they're not going to change the model. And I think the real thing and our politics are corrupt also, but the only real way to right the course is just to have these sweeping antitrust and just like go TR on them and just break them all up. Google, Facebook, Twitter, and just splinter them into hundreds of thousands of different companies and then see what rises out of the ashes. Because it's just insane how dysfunctional social media has become. It's a true cancer in our society.
It is an extreme cancer. And to build on what you just said, like, so my feed obviously feeds the algorithm that's been built for me based on what I've liked in my conservative chaos. Mr. Joel's feed is more on the other side of the aisle to a degree. So that's the news he's getting. So what they're doing is just feeding both sides exactly what they want to see and hear. And what that does is just push it both aside, put everybody in a box and separate them. 1,000%. Because we were talking about this at work a few weeks ago about they just set up fake accounts based on a persona of somebody, either right or left, and their news feeds were completely different and definitely fed to the worst of each side from what they got on their feed. And it was a fake person set up as an account, and that's what they get fed to. So yeah, we're already all different, and that's just making it go even more.
You know, if you had like a Twitter, and just spitballing here, but if you had like a a tiered system, like you're allowed this much access to Twitter based on some analysis we've conducted, like that, in order to filter out the Chinese and Russian bots, like and they're just commenters, because they're not going to, maybe it takes a certain level of human interaction to get up to stage 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Maybe you got guys at stage 5 that are, everybody knows who these people are, and stage 4 is like actors and shit. Stage 3 are, Micah.
Obviously,
2 is like me and a bunch of Chinese bots that managed to get past the first
bust
phase.
out the algorithm. Yeah. It's just that there's this fake perception that everything that it's open forum and what you see is coming from people with thought and et cetera on all those platforms, and it couldn't be further from the truth, either from people scrubbing what you see and hear, or fake things coming in from all other directions. We're not necessarily fake, but just extremely one-sided also.
One more point about it. I think you could compare the number of, let's say, tweets or Facebook posts that go out in a day. Somebody posts something on Facebook or on Twitter that is likely fairly comparable to a transaction, probably less. More, you do more transactions in a day as in the world than people tweet. But a bank is held, if you allow a illegal transaction to go through, you're held accountable for it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if it goes to like a sanctioned entity or a specially designated national, so a sanctioned person, like terrorist watch list or whatever. If you allow one of those, you get fined. So why can't Twitter be held to the same standard? That don't let misinformation like that. I'm not talking about like just content you disagree with. I'm talking about these troll farms and people who have malicious intent. Gotta hold Twitter accountable. There's for doing that, for allowing that. Like a bank, the biggest employers used to be a bank, right? They have to employ a bunch of people, and yeah, they make a lot of money, but they have to pay a lot of people for all the work and the regulations that they cover and all the rules that are in place. Whereas like tech companies, they don't really have any rules, and they are bigger, they're more valuable companies now than the biggest corporations 50 years ago, but they don't employ people. And people need jobs, so start employing people to look at this shit.
I'm not going to force them to employ people, but
Well, you're not,
but
they're allowing.
They have exceptions that they should not have, for one, as far as content. But yeah. So, anyways, that's a great final thought, Joel. Again, we went down like 7 rat holes, but 1,000 out of 1776. Richard, final thoughts?
I've been looking at like my wife just came in the room. She must be going to bed.
I think you don't have the camera on.
No,
Or do you? Oh.
No, I've been thinking a lot about the last couple of weeks about like everybody talking about the supply chain and the boats backed up and everything and not being able to get chips in, which is all inconvenient to say the least. But I was walking through Safeway in Lakeview, which gets terrible amount of, I mean, we don't get the highest quality food, but I was thinking if you took this entire store and cut it in half, the supply that was in there in half, the inventory in half, we would still be living better than 80% of the world.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, we are minorly inconvenienced by the state of the world right now. And if we cut our lifestyle back by 50%, we would still be better off than the majority of the world. So it's an interest. It sort of, that way of thinking sort of changed my perspective on everything. I think that we might be a little bit spoiled.
Just a tad. Yeah.
Yeah. And it probably, if things get worse, will be a good exercise for us to realize just what an amazing economic engine and land of prosperity that we have engineered in America over the last 245 years. And yeah, everybody wants to take it down, but I think it's unstoppable because nobody wants to give up quality of life.
No, they might say they do, but they sure as hell don't want to. Yeah,
How does the quality of life compare here to Russia?
The quality of life in Russia was manageable. I mean, and I know there's worse places than where I lived and there's probably worse places in Russia than where I lived. But yeah, but I made more money. I lived like a king. My salary was exponentially probably 8 to 9 times greater than the person that was running, like even the Russian ranch manager. So, I mean, I didn't really so, but it was a lot more scarce. There's a lot more scarcity in Russia. Like even
Less
if you
choice.
cut
And,
American, yeah, if you cut American stores back 50%, you'd have to cut it another 50% to get what it was like where I lived in Russia. And you know what? Life was manageable,
Mhm.
and I ate good and never wanted for anything. And so we might not only are we very prosperous, but we might just have too much shit.
There's no doubt about that. We're looking for problems to have. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's how good we have it. Like that's our biggest problem is just looking for shit to make up to be angry or appalled or twisted over. Like really.
It's not about the amount of choice. It's, well, it is if it's available or not, but it is the price. That's what people are mad about. Price is going up. I don't. Okay, I only need one choice of pasta sauce. I don't need 4 different versions of ragu, but I want that ragu to cost $2 instead of 5. I don't know.
That's one about, yeah, that's an opinion for sure. Yeah. Some people would rather have 4 options. So
I've been doing this great
Paradox of
experiment.
choice.
I've been doing
What's that,
this
Rich?
I've been doing this great experiment. I downloaded the Safeway app
Mhm.
because we have and I've been looking at the coupons and I've been managing my shopping list based on. I made a few changes. I was watching Guy's Grocery Game on
Mhm.
Food Network,
One of my favorite
and
shows. Yeah.
yeah, and like he had this freezer section where you had to make a whole meal out of the freezer section.
Mhm.
And then I watched another one where they had to use canned goods. And we have Bounty in the freezer section and the canned goods, and we look at it like it's third world
Mhm.
fare. And so like it's amazing how cheap a meal you can make if you substitute frozen vegetables for fresh vegetables. Substitute something out of the can for something that you would.
Mhm.
And there's no, it's, we just have this amazing food system that we don't utilize. And like, yeah, prices are high right now, but you can, I got a free quart of buttermilk for using the app. It took me 10 more minutes than if I would have gone shopping. And,
Mhm.
like, I think I've been really watching like how much it costs to make every meal just because I don't know why I just decided to do that.
Good
But
exercise.
yeah, just making some like random substitutions, like with frozen food and everything, you could almost reduce your cost of your meal by 40-50%. It's incredible.
Most of the things I buy for food are on sale in one way, shape, or form. If I can, there's a few things that I buy no matter what, but like whatever protein I'm going to have this week is usually depending on which one's on sale online or which one I have bought on sale already and put in a freezer, or I have bought and not necessarily a protein, but like in the pantry. You know, like I quipped earlier about, yeah, I had an extra turkey. Yeah, because it was on sale for like 40 cents a pound. You could buy 2 at a time. So I did. And then the next time I ordered groceries, I ordered 2 more. So, because they were like dirt cheap compared to normal, they were getting rid of them for some reason. So I was buying them. So yeah, I have 2 whole frozen turkeys in my freezer right now. That's like 2 weeks of food easily every time. But like, yeah, it was 40 cents a pound, dude. They're on, more, those were like $1.90 a pound. So of course I'm
Really?
buying.
That much
Yeah,
on sale?
absolutely. Yeah. That's why you can only buy 2. I'd have bought 10 of them if they would let me buy 2 or 10 all at the same time. So I'm ordering groceries tomorrow. If they still have them on sale, I'm buying 2 more. Like, but like whatever, like if chicken's on sale or thighs are on sale, I'm buying them this week. If it's sausage, then I'm buying that. Whatever is kind of how I run that thing. Like now cheese, that's a different story. You're gonna have quality, you're gonna get Tillamook or Kerrygold butter, etc. But most things are like just kind of weave in and out. What's the best price for me? Yeah. And as you can tell, I do not suffer from the lack of the food. Yeah.
Kerrygold butter, huh?
Oh, to be
I
sure.
wonder, because we don't have Tillamook cheddar here in the city.
Yeah.
Out at some place.
I just look at, I didn't never even know if I want sharp cheddar or extra sharp
I
cheddar.
love extra sharp is my favorite. Yeah. Depending on what I'm using it for. Yeah.
I don't know the difference.
Well, 10-year-old extra sharp Tillamook in the black case, that's pretty damn tasty. Yeah. But the Kerrygold Irish butter is one of my, that's top drawer stuff there. Yeah.
Amish butter's the truth.
For sure. I used to make freaking butter with the churn thing. So anyways, that's a whole different story, but yeah. So those are my final thoughts. Buy in bulk when you can, buy on sale, store it, freeze it, vacuum seal it. I got a vacuum seal, like $120 on Amazon. So it's good for marinating stuff. It's good for keeping it after you make it. So yeah.
On next week's Far Reaches, quilting and knitting.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll be working around the campfire, folks, and making a little pottery. And then, then we'll going back inside to the hearth where we'll sit around with our quilt. We haven't even talked about how to make bacon yet. So that's a whole other episode. I got my buddies texting me how to make bacon right now. Yeah. Literally this very moment. It's good. So any final thoughts on the final thoughts?
I was real quick. I made some dinner this week. I made hamburgers on Monday and pasta on Tuesday. But I made a side salad. So I got one of those packets of Hidden Valley Ranch,
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to make it taste more like Semioti's Ranch, which it's just sweeter. I was like, it must just be like some sugar in it or something, right? I don't know. So I was Googling it, and they're like, how to save $1 on your salad dressing. Like, that seems like a lot of work to save $1. Like, this packet that I just bought cost nothing. It cost $1.
Yeah.
And they're trying to save money on making your own dressing at home. I don't know. Just buy the packet.
Some things, just your time is worth more than the potential savings at times. Yeah. So
Probably make it with whole cream.
mm-hmm.
That's how you would do it?
Ranch and whole cream, yeah.
I just add a little sugar to the recipe.
If that is it sweet? Is that what you're looking for? Huh. I'll think about
Semioti's Ranch is a little sweeter. Yeah. So good.
Cool. Just ask Jennifer how she makes it.
They could use canned milk.
Yeah, if they did that, I don't know.
Yeah, that would make it sweet.
It would make it sweeter, but
It
might just be. It's probably the restaurant ranch that comes in like the 3-gallon jug from this freaking Mega Foods or whatever that place is called. What's that place on Westgate?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, the restaurant supply store.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's probably the big ranch that comes out of there. That's my thought. Because traditionally that house ranch in most restaurants is kind of sweet.
You know Jennifer well. Ask
Yeah.
her about her ranch.
Okay then. I shall for you, Joel. Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Jennifer's Ranch. I gotta write that down. Yeah.
That should be the name of the episode.
It might be.
Ask Jennifer about her ranch.
I shouldn't put Jennifer's Ranch. Yeah, people go, oh, shit. Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know. We want to reach out and find out. So I think with that high point, yeah. What do you got? Yes, go ahead.
For people who don't follow on Facebook, Raleigh is in the family way. Has the kid on the gown.
Little Buster.
Yeah.
Buster, what's his Christian name? It's not Lloyd. It's
Henry or something?
Something Henry. God, Ralls, I apologize. Yeah, hold on. I got it here in the records somewhere. Starts with the L.
Lance.
Right? Lance Henry, I think is what it is.
Lance Henry, that's it.
Yeah, but AKA Buster.
Yeah, which will be his moniker for the rest of his life.
Buster Bigsby. Yeah. Yeah, I sent you a picture of my gun safe already. So when I was talking about it, you already seen it. Yeah. Lance Henry. Yep. Verified. So beautiful. Yes. So we were really hoping to get Ralls on for his parental perspective, but he had internet connections. I actually talked to him on the phone today. He was excited to come get some reaching done. So it happens though at the end of the world. So we'll play for next time. So with that high point, Heart of the Fall is the movie for next time, brought to you by Richard. That's on Netflix. We'll have the link down below. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and the YouTube, and this podcast will be available wherever podcasts should be available. So you got that going for you as well. So we'll just do that. And until then, you know what they always say, just keep on reaching.